Now, from Into Tomorrow, this is an ITTV special report.
The wait is almost over for the sequel of a very popular game to arrive. I'm referring to Mafia II. A lot of you may have been waiting since this title was announced a long while ago, as a matter of fact, and it's about time, you're saying, that Mafia II come into play. The senior producer for 2K Games is Denby Grace. Hello, Denby. Welcome into Tomorrow.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. How does Mafia give you a cinematic experience? Because I'm hearing that's what it's about.
Yeah, Mafia II. It's really a cinematic game, you know, the way it's presented. The overall goal that we have for the game is that we put you inside this sort of Martin Scorsese sort of feeling of an epic movie, you know. The story really is, thematically, as you might imagine, it's about the Mafia. It's about these two guys called Vito and Joe and their journey into a life of organised crime. Now, the game itself, it's actually set in this fictional city called Empire Bay, and it's lovingly sort of recreated. It's a period set city in the 40s and the 50s, so you really get that sort of authentic time period with the music, the fashions, and all that sort of stuff that goes on with it.
I would envision it as being in black and white, too, or something, because of that time period, but not so. Full color,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely, yeah, full color all the way.
Good. You're living it as it should be.
Yeah, as it should be, I guess, yeah. It's a really good, and we've taken, like I say, we've taken a lot of care in making sure the little details are there, all the things you'd expect, all the music that people would expect from the 40s and 50s, you know,
Sure.
It really comes through.
And we talk about it being a long-awaited release coming up because, 2002, the first one, seems to be quite a span there. Whereas it the fact that folks were playing it and enjoying it so much and saying, come on, we want more of a challenge now? Or?
There's a little bit of that, I guess, but you know, these things take a while to cook up. One of the big things that for us was we had a big vision of what we wanted the second game to be, and we had to wait almost for the technology to catch up. The last generations of consoles, they really couldn't deliver the experience we wanted, and then we had a vision of the game that we want players to play, and for that it takes certain sort of software engines to be available. So we developed our own internal software engine for that, and these things take time. You know, these things are not simple, and when you've seen the game, it's quite a technical achievement. It really is. So I think that's the big reason for the wait, and also our story. It's a mammoth undertaking. This thing's like 600 pages in script, whereas a normal movie script's somewhere like 120 pages. So it really is sort of a mammoth experience, and like I say, to do it to a quality level that our gamers deserve, it really takes that time.
Is it because of so many possible turns, so to speak, that one might take in the game that it's so involved?
Not specifically. It's really sort of a dense experience. You know, the dialogues. It's constantly these guys are talking to one another. You know, the quality of the delivery. You know, we've gone out of our way to really. We've produced this thing in Hollywood. You know, our writers and the VO direction, and everything. All this stuff takes time to achieve to that quality level.
And what platforms will it be available on?
So the game's coming on PS3, 360 and PC, and it's coming for an August to October sort of release this year.
And any idea as to pricing yet, or is that a little premature?
Yeah, that's probably a little bit premature, but you can expect for the pricing that you'd expect for any sort of AAA game.
Yeah. Gotcha. And what's got you most pumped about the game? I mean, you know, personally, from your perspective, no doubt you've been playing it.
Absolutely.
And helping to get it ready for that final release.
The biggest thing that's got me pumped is the combat in the game, you know. It really is sort of a really great sort of visceral experience. It's an intense experience, the combat in the game, you know. You see destructible environments going around you, and it really sort of, you feel like you're in the centre of this great Martin Scorsese or Francis Ford Coppola movie in many ways.
And thus, back to that original thing we talked about of it being a cinematic experience then, because you're really feeling it not so much as a game perhaps, but as a movie that you're living in.
Yeah, it's the thing that we looked at when we sort of reference stuff, you know. We use music, we use weather, we use time of day to really set an atmosphere and a mood. You really want the right tone for the game to come across the gamers while they're in the action, you know. It really helps the immersion, you know. You really feel like you're living the life of this guy, Vito.
Love it. Vito and Joe. And getting involved in Mafia 2, and you certainly want to check it out at mafia2game.com for more information and see what Denby and his team are up to. Thanks for joining us here at the Game Developers Conference, and good luck. Let us know when it's out. We'll certainly talk it up.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for having me, Dave.
Our pleasure. Back with more as Into Tomorrow continues from San Francisco and GDC this week. Don't go away.